she wanted to know about jealousy and envy. So I asked her, I was like, what context are you asking about jealousy? And she said that she had a friend that was jealous of her sibling and wanted to be happy for her sibling, but didn't know how. Like something about the sibling's relationship, the stuff that the sibling has going on was making this person feel jealous. And they were asking me, what should they do? So let's first define, I like to define things. So jealousy is the fear that something we possess will be taken away. Okay? Jealousy is the fear that something that we possess will be taken away. So when she said that this person was jealous of their sibling, it was a head scratcher a little bit, and talking about being happy for the other person. So I started talking about happiness to a degree, and how you can't give what you don't have. So yeah, it's going to be difficult to be happy for another when you're not happy. So if I'm not happy with my own life, right, it's not going to be possible for me to be happy for other people. Otherwise, I'll just be faking it, and it's so false that it's going to come off incorrect. So this person understood that, and I would just wonder, why are they not pursuing whatever makes them happy in their life? What fear or what fear are they dealing with that is is keeping or preventing them from going after and pursuing the happiness that it's everybody's birthright. But then I started thinking, I was like, wait a minute. Jealousy is the fear that something we possess will be taken away. And then I was like, that sounds more like envy, right? Because jealousy and envy are two separate things. So envy is to want something which belongs to another person that we don't have, right? Envy is to want something which belongs to another person that we don't have, or we wish that they didn't have. So then that rang true to me. I was like, oh, maybe this person isn't being jealous. Maybe they're just envious of the other person's relationship because they wish it was something that they had. And I was like, okay, that felt a little better. I think a lot of times we get those two words, we run them simultaneously, like we marry them together. Can you be both? Yeah, you can be jealous and envious, but usually we use those words out of context. Jealousy is when I have something and I'm worried that it's going to be taken away from me. So I have a relationship that maybe I feel like, for whatever reason, and a lot of times it comes from, our insecurities, our low self-esteem, our low self-confidence, self-worth, that I fear that it can be taken away from me. So because I fear that it can be taken away from me, I'm jealous of whatever that is that's trying to do that. Either I'm jealous of my person that could be taken away, or I'm angry at the person trying to take this person away. But that has everything to do with the story that I've created in my head. So jealousy is I'm in possession of something, and something or someone's trying to take it from me. Okay? Envy is you have something that I want, and I don't have it. So I'm envious of you. I'm envious of your life. I'm envious of your relationship. I'm envious of the job that you have. I'm envious of the money that you have. I'm envious of the opportunity. So that's really a distinct difference that I think is really important to understand when we're trying to figure out why we're feeling a certain way. I know personally, I never thought that I could be a jealous person. Like, because I'm very much like, I was very shut off emotionally many years ago, and I could just take it or leave it. My pops passed away when I was a teenager, and it really just closed me off emotionally. So I didn't care if something stayed, if it went. Um, yeah, it just, I just didn't think I could be jealous. And then it hit me one day. I was at a party, and this girl that I was dating, um, she was dancing with a dude that used to be like her ex-boyfriend. And I came around the corner and I saw it, and a feeling of like rage came over me. And it was crazy. And I was like, oh, I caught it, and I was like, oh, snap, like, what am I feeling? And it hit me. It was like, dude, you're jealous, right? And it fits the definition. The definition is something that I have that I fear can be taken away. Whether it's real or imagined is, up to me. Like, it's really individual. Like, it doesn't have to be real. It can be imagined, and in my mind, it's real. So I was threatened by this guy just from them dancing. So it really was eye-opening experience. It really taught me a lesson. And I've also felt envy. I've been envious of people, opportunities, jobs, relationships. I mean, I've been that as well. So I wouldn't beat myself up about it. But it's good to acknowledge and be aware that you're feeling these feelings, whether it be jealousy or envy, because they're both limiting beliefs. And I shot a whole bunch of videos on overcoming limiting beliefs, so you can look those up on the Life Strategy Meetup page, either on Facebook or YouTube. But yeah, so I just acknowledge them. I make myself aware of the feeling, and then I go inward. I don't look at the person or the situation to blame or justify feeling the way I feel. That's on me. So, what I do to overcome jealousy is I had to figure out what my personal self-worth was, my value. I didn't know my value before. So I had low self-esteem. I had false self-confidence. Was very insecure, very jealous. Didn't realize it, but I was. Very envious. I was aware of that, but I didn't really care. But once I was able to identify a lot of where my pain was coming from and where I was projecting that from, I was able to sit down and really stop and think about it and go, all right, this don't have nothing to do with nobody else. And I'm hurting, I'm in pain, and I can solve this. I can correct this. So I sat down and wrote on a piece of paper what I thought my value was as a person. And if there were attributes that I didn't have, then maybe I admired them in somebody else. So I would write that stuff down too. And then I worked every day to behave as if I wanted to be more generous or more grateful, then every day I set out to do that, right where I was at. Okay? Envy, I understood that envy was a limiting belief. So if I'm envious of what somebody else has, then I'm saying that it's not possible for me to have it, which is not true. So it really should be inspiring when you see somebody have something that you don't have, because the very fact that they have it lets me believe that it's possible. So I'm inspired by what other people are doing now. I celebrate people's successes. So does envy creep in every now and then? Does a little jealousy creep in? Yeah, but we're human, but I don't let it overtake me. I don't let it overwhelm whatever it is I'm focused on at any given time. So jealousy is attributed to low self-esteem, insecurity. Jealousy is a lot of jealousy is about control. So when we feel like we're out of control or we're losing stuff, then we want to lash out, right? And anger more times than not. We get angry, we get pissed off, we get upset. So it's really about control, because when you truly love something or someone, right, real love is, I don't own it. I release it into the universe, and if it's mine or it's there for me to experience, then it will remain there. And once it's time for that thing to go away, it goes away, and I'm not worried about owning it, um, pissed off or trying to fight to keep it, or in some cases, people are willing to kill and harm people because of a perceived taking away or perceived losing of control of a relationship. We've seen that. I mean, Dateline, 48 Hour, like we've seen those type of shows. Some of the effects of jealousy can cause stress. Jealousy can cause anxiety. We just talked about anger. It can cause stress. Jealousy can cause suspicion, right? In a relationship, when we're jealous, we get suspicious. You want to check emails, check people's cell phones, checking text messages. We want to clock them, where you going and why you, like, you know what I mean? Like, all of that is just jealousy and control and worrying about losing something that we believe that we own. What else? This is not going to be a long one. How we overcome jealousy. We talked about awareness, acknowledgement, knowing your value, understanding forgiveness, right, of ourselves, not blaming other people for the way we feel. Can nobody make us feel anything, right? It's already inside of us, and then that person shows up as a mirror. So that's key too, understanding mirroring when it comes to jealousy and envy. Okay, it's not the other person or the situation making us feel a certain way. It's already inside of me, and then the situation comes because I attract it, and now I'm experiencing it. Okay, self-love. I honestly think self-love is the first brick that needs to be laid down. When it comes to anything, when it comes to creating the career that we want, creating the relationship that we want, creating the life that we want, is about self-love. I have to learn to love myself first before I can learn to love anything else or anybody else, right? So we talk about a lot of the black on black crime in the street, and I'm only speaking about that because I'm perceived as black in this society. If I don't love me or I don't love myself, it's easy for me to attack you or assault you because you look like me. So I hate me, and you look like me, there's nothing. I'll kill you, rob you, steal from you, talk about you, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, so self-love to me, when it comes to anything, jealousy, envy, relationships, happiness, like, we have to learn to love ourselves first. To overcome envy, right? How I overcome envy is I stay in gratitude, right? So as soon as I start to look at somebody else's situation for, man, I don't have that, then I catch myself and go, well, what do you have? Right? So I stay in gratitude. I have oxygen in my lungs. I have food to eat. I got clothes on my back. I have a place to live. I got electricity. I'm using technology. I'm talking. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much to be grateful for. You got family, you got friends, and some people are like, well, I don't have none of that. And I'm like, look, if you're alive and you're breathing, you can be grateful for that. Okay? It's a start. All of the stuff that we're talking about is energy, right? Attracting things. So energy attracts like energy. So if I can be grateful about anything, wherever I'm at, then I will attract more grateful things or more gratitude. I want to be around people that are grateful and generous and happy, like, because it's an energy that I want to be around. The grass isn't always greener on the other side of the street. I used to say that, and my dad would tell me, water your own lawn. If you water your own lawn, your grass will be green too. So all of that energy that we're putting into being jealous, being envious, if we put that energy back into us, then we'll see a lot of the things that we wish that we saw, or we wish that we had because we saw it in somebody else. Okay? So I read something in the Bible, and I'm not no religious dude, I'm not Christian, but it said, God said to love thy enemy. And I think that's a very deep statement because a lot of times as individuals, we're our own worst enemy. So I received that statement as a self-love statement. Love your enemy, right? I'm my own worst enemy a lot of times. Negative self-talk, um, beating up on myself. It's like there's nobody can do that greater than you can do that to yourself. Because if you never did it, it wouldn't be possible for somebody else to do it to you. You wouldn't allow it. So whether you're thinking it or actually saying it to yourself, when somebody else comes along and gives you that kind of energy, we're shocked. Oh my God, how could you? When, I'm not shocked. Sometimes I say that to myself. Man, that was stupid. Why you keep doing that? That was dumb. Right? So if somebody comes along and I do something, they go, man, that's dumb. Like, why would I be pissed off at them? I say that to myself. They're only reflecting back to me the energy that I give to myself. Right? So that comes back to self-love, self-confidence, self-esteem, self-respect. Right? Once we lay that foundation, all this other stuff that we're talking about dissipates. It goes away. Right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not going to get way into it. Jealousy, once again, is fear that someone is going to take something away that we possess. Relationship, I think like I'm jealous that you're going to take something from me. Envy is I don't have it. You have it and I don't have it. And I want it. Or I wish that you didn't have it. Right? Because that'll make me feel better. Okay, so both of those are very limiting beliefs. We can overcome them by awareness and acknowledgement. I gave you an exercise of writing down attributes that you would like to add to your personality. Right? Because it starts from in and then we emit the energy out. So it's the second law of the universe is the law of correspondence. So I'm going to see the world from my perspective, or basically how I view myself. Okay, it's not the other way around. It's not I see it and then it makes me feel a certain way. It's I feel a certain way and then I'm going to see it. Okay? Keep in mind the law of cause and effect. So if I'm planting seeds of fear, insecurity, shortcomings, lack, jealousy, envy, then that's what I'm going to sprout. Right? You reap what you sow. So if I see that, that's why I don't blame nobody or nothing. I just look at myself. So if it showed up in front of me, it's because I did it. I'm thinking something, I'm feeling something, and now I manifested it, and now I got to deal with it. So you have so much power when it comes to these kind of things. Like jealousy, envy, it's a waste of energy. It's a waste of energy. Because all you have to do is spend that time on yourself and going after what you believe you deserve. Right? So when people complain, right, I think it's really cowardly of me to complain about anything. Because when you complain, basically what you're saying is you have a situation and you're comparing it to another situation. And you believe that situation is better than yours. Right? So we complain. Oh, my boss. Oh, my woman. Oh, my car. Just complain. But when the truth is, all right, we've identified something that we wished or we desired was better. But then when you don't go do it, or you don't leave that job, or you don't leave that relationship, then you're a coward. Because you can have that relationship if you really want it. You got to go create it. You can have that job if you really want it. You just got to go create it. So have the courage to go create the life that you wish or you believe that you deserve. Stop spending time looking at other people, being jealous, being envious, complaining about, what they got or what you don't got. It's like, no, this universe is so big, it's so abundant that you literally can have whatever you want. You could have whatever you want. You just got to have the courage to be willing to get up, go out there and manifest it, go create it. because you're made in the image and likeness of God. You have the power of the source or God behind you, like you're cut from that cloth. So all you got to do is just go get it. Go learn the skill. Go learn the trade. Go, if it's about relationships, take a relationship course. Read a communication book. Like, do something that can empower you. If it's your health, go in the gym. If it's diet, put the cookies down. Like, it's not rocket science to have the life that we want to have. Okay? So hopefully that answered whoever's question. If not, then please leave a comment and I can expound further. I'm just kind of riffing off the top of my head and some notes that I wrote down. This is your boy Brooklyn Mclinn, and this is my first time periscoping. I'm learning. I'm a dinosaur. All right, y'all. Peace.